The Gravity is the R&B hip hop show on KZLX 106.7.
Amazing Things presents The Gravity.
It is a pre-existing show. It's been around for like 5 or 6 years, and I got to host it last year with Kayla Hammer, and then Kayla graduated, so it was just me.
She was talking about The Gravity, Kyrese was, and said, I don't really know what's going to happen to it after Hammer goes. She said she wants me to take it over, but she didn't know how she was going to do it. And I was like, well, I would love to do it. Like, da-da-da-da.
We took it over and kind of just rebranded.
And so then we started talking about it over the summer, and then when we came back from the summer, that's when we did all the pre-stuff that we had to do for the show, and then it just went from there.
We changed the whole format of the show.
We have a set format that we kind of run every week, where we have different points that we know we're going to have every week, as opposed to just changing every week. So we kind of made it more of like a series, as opposed to a new thing every time you come.
We definitely talk about more entertainment topics that people are interested in, just hitting on things that are big on Twitter, talking about things that are happening in the Black community as far as like social injustice. It could be anything, music, entertainment, just stuff that's important to the Black community. We have guests sometimes when there's things going on campus, like MMO, they did Tribute to the Ladies, and Sister did Night of Glory, and we had the presidents of their organizations come on and talk about their event. ASO, they had Taste of Africa, and we actually were at that event as well, and kind of just giving them a platform to let people know what's going on.
We have a lot of different fun stuff. So we have this thing called the Sister Circle, where we take a celebrity who did something that we don't like that week, and we just say what we think is wrong about it. Basically, we read them, and reading is like you say that wasn't right and this is why.
The grass ain't greener on the other side, but you know where it's green at? In the Sister Circle, where you can sit.
And so we do that every week, and we have different things. Social media was a big part of the rebranding because we elicit more participation from that now. That was a huge part of changing it and doing all that, and it was actually a lot of work because I made the new social media stuff, and so it was just kind of like that's how we push what we're gonna do, and that's how we get feedback and new topics and different stuff like that.
In the Sister Circle,
I say like 95% of the time the topics are suggested by our audience. We'll tweet out, what do you guys want us to talk about? And they'll tell us. We've talked about everything from interracial dating to is cheating a deal breaker? And our most infamous show was a suggested show, and people asked our GM and our PD asked us to talk about it, and it was the difference between side hoes and side chicks. And that was like our most listened to show, most participation. It was crazy. So we talk about everything. We end just about every show saying for the culture, and that just comes from like our audience suggesting things that we talk about. We're looking into things like during Black History Month, we always give a Black History fact. We started every show off playing the Black National Anthem. So just like that. It's different because we are so centered in giving Black culture a voice here at Northwest.
You are listening to The Gravity.
We're always like meeting, like let's get this done. What can we do to make sure that this message is getting across? What can we do to make sure that this group or this thing, something that's important to us, is being shown in a positive light? How can we get the Black community to have a campus on a predominantly white institution? So I think just us having the same work ethic works really well, and then just being with each other all the time kind of just helped us become friends.
The way we work together in our relationship and the difference of opinions that we have, but then we still like find like a way to present that. I know some of the other shows are they're kind of like debates all the time, but ours is kind of like we kind of build off each other as opposed to like always debate or always have the same opinion. We build off of each other, and then we're not afraid to share our opinions, and I think that's what sets us apart.
The Gravity is uncensored. Like we are really unfiltered most of the time. I mean, within regulations, but we let people choose our topics. We're the only hip hop R&B show on the station, so we kind of can go outside of the normal regulations of music. We kind of we're different because we talk about things that most people don't want to hear. Or most people are afraid to talk about. We're not afraid to talk about it, and we say what we want to say. just to make sure that, like, again, the Black community has a voice on this campus.
So make sure y'all tune in and participate. We'll be right back.
When I first came to Northwest, I kind of was forced to come here. I had an older sibling here, so mom was like, just go. I was planning to go to music school in Chicago. Mom was like, it's too far, go to Northwest. So I came up here. I was just really over it my freshman year. That's horrible, but I was over it. I just, was here because I had to be. And then around my sophomore year, I really started getting involved in music and production and stuff. And that's really what I wanted to do, producing, vocal arranging, all that good stuff. So my junior year, I had to take a practicum class, and I just took radio just to take it. I didn't want anything to do with radio. Like, I wanted to produce music. I wanted to write, vocal arrange. My advisors and my teachers and even Kayla Hammer, they kind of just threw me into everything. It was crazy. Like, I used to be scared to turn on the microphone and get on air, and now I'm like hosting one of the most listened to shows on the station. And when Joe left, Hammer was like, "You're hosting the show with me," and I'm like, "Okay." So I kind of just stayed in my lane, did what Hammer told me to do, and then that next semester I became the music director, and I kind of changed some things as far as the sound of the station, still being top 40, but just becoming more blended in a way. So we're playing more R&B, more hip hop, but still keeping that top 40 format. And then I was music director for a semester, then I became program director. So that's kind of where I'm in charge of everything on air. Other than that's when I kind of just started making my way in the, in the field, making sure that everything is good, just focusing on the gravity and our sound on the station. So I kind of worked up fast and unexpectedly.
Besides just giving me something to put on my portfolio, it's kind of directed me. It's kind of let me know what I love and what I like to do. Because when I came in, I didn't even think about radio. Like, I started in yearbook and I didn't like it. And then I went to newspaper, did that for a little longer, didn't like it. And then I just took radio because I needed a practicum class, and I completely fell in love with it. And so being on the Gravity has kind of geared me towards, I know that this is what I want to do, and then not only do I know that this is what I want to do, I know that I'm good at this.
Why he's gonna be back in there for a second go around? Because
people weren't used to the topics we were talking about, and in the way that we talked about it, it was a I said what I said kind of thing. And some people were uncomfortable with it, and so we kind of just started joking about it, making fun of it. Like, a specialty show it's your baby. You're supposed to say what you want to say, do what you want to do, and we did, and we do it unapologetically.
In my opinion, as two African American females who wanted to come, and we're loud and we're outspoken and we know what we want to talk about. And sometimes when you give that to an audience that's not used to that, people don't really know how to take that. And so that was kind of what we had. So we had a lot of people being like, we're not sure if we should be able to do that. And it was kind of like, this is our show. We kind of want to do it, so we're going to do it. And so that was kind of what the pushback was.
1985.
We used to end every show telling everybody to tweet, keep us on the radio, like just making a joke of it. Little did we know, like, people would actually start tweeting, keep us on the radio. And then at the end of the semester, our last show, everybody was tweeting, they kept y'all on the radio. So just having to deal with people not being used to something, I think that was our biggest challenge in trying to make sure that we didn't let it hinder us, but to keep going.
The support has been crazy. So the support is one thing that kind of shocked me, and I'm sure shocks her too, which is kind of like when you see people out and they're like, oh my gosh, I heard you on the radio, and it was like, really? And so that was one of the big things. And then I know we had a bunch of support from our family, like, up front, and then so like to see it spread through like our family and then to our friends and then to other people on the campus who we don't really know that well, that's been crazy. And then the radio station, they've kind of been supportive with just kind of letting us do what we want to do within reason. They're kind of like, okay, make sure you have all your bases covered, but then do what you want to do. Know what you want to talk about, and then be an expert at what you want to talk about. But also don't be afraid to be wrong. And then if you want to join radio, I feel like if you are a shy person who wants to get your opinion out, radio is the way to do it because no one can see you. Because you're in a booth, it's you and a microphone. And so you can say what you want to say because nobody can see you. Nobody knows if you messed up, so you're just free to do what you want to do. And then I think that radio is also a good way because it's your voice, and so it's a literal way to have your voice spread what you feel like you want to spread.
Gonna go ahead and speak to
You can catch The Gravity every Tuesday at 9 p.m. on X106.
You got just be on the lookout for things. Be watching Twitter, Snapchat, Insta, all that. I think that's it.
Tweet us anything to and for the culture.
Yeah, and y'all know how we do. We gonna end it, leave you with a few more bops, and we will be here same time, same place, same station next week. You're listening to The Gravity.